Metal.
We caught him.
Sometimes you just gotta rock out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked like you were
That's the metal.
grabbing someone's balls very aggressively.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Metal.
Heavy metal.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Aftershow podcast. We missed all of you naysayers this past week, and we got a ton to talk about because it's that season again, especially in gaming, where there's just news all the time. New trailers, new game announcements. In the case of EA, new game cancellations and game announcements. There's a lot going on. So we had so much to talk about that we had to bring on a special guest to help us sort through everything that's going on this past week. We're going to be talking, of course, about the new season of Marvel Rivals, how everyone feels about that, all the nonsense that happened with EA. I did a video on the latest over on the channel earlier today. Also, of course, previewing Summer Game Fest, which is less than a week away. Jeff Keighley dropped his hype trailer today, so we're going to break everything down for you. But first, to help us dissect the news and cause some mayhem, the one, the only, King Greek, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, give him his proper introduction. The May 2025 PlayStation Cup champion, King Greek.
Thank you for the introduction. Hopefully y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day today. Thank you for having me as always.
Yeah, of course, man.
More like the Scarlet Bee. Hey, I didn't see you there.
Yeah, we're doing well. And a good day to everyone in the chat. We got Next Level Geo. Congratulations on being first. What's up, Super Patrick? What's up, Marvel? Old Man Eastwood. What's up, No Cap? Travis, Gabe in the building. What's up? What's up? How's everyone feeling? Hope you're all good on this fine Sunday evening where the Lord is currently resting, but we are not. I guess we should get into it. First, it's been a week, but I feel like I literally was just talking to Jay. But did anything happen besides our best boy feeling a little sicky?
Yeah, he's doing really good today. He like we just noticed Friday night that Wilson's face was like swollen. So we gave him some Benadryl. Didn't really do anything, so we had to take him into the ER. We're there for like 5 hours, and they got to do some X-rays and spend a couple $1,000 and get him fixed. So, but I love that guy so much. Honestly, he is the happiest little guy, and he's a joy. So we're really happy, and he's feeling a lot better today. So. Thank you for caring.
I will always care. If there's one thing I care more about than even people, it's dogs.
And it's fair because dogs are the best. Dogs are the best of us.
I'll literally go down like YouTube rabbit holes where instead of playing Clair Obscure or working on a video, I'll just be sitting on my bed watching YouTube videos about dog rescues.
Dude, I get those in my Facebook feed, and like I immediately have to go hug them. Like I just see these sad dog stories, and I'm like, oh. So yeah. Anyway, that's where we're at.
I just got into this this guy who does like dog training YouTube videos. He does a lot of shorts and stuff and long stories on various dog trainings. I don't have a dog. I don't plan on getting a dog.
Yeah.
But I've watched like 20 of this guy's videos. just watching him take care of his dogs and to give people tips on how to better take care of them and get them to be the best boys that they can possibly be. It's great.
My stream literally just got a dog food commercial.
They're listening.
Like ad. Yeah.
They're listening. Yeah. All right.
Oh, speaking of the best boy, there he is.
There he is. There he is.
Say his name and he appears. Oh,
what's it?
He's laying down. He doesn't want to.
Oh, as you should. Leave him alone.
There he is.
Oh, so good.
So
we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. I just noticed when I was setting this up, StreamYard finally enables Kick. It's finally working. So if you just happen to be on Kick, we technically should be live on there. So there's that. All right. Now that we got King Greek here, I guess it's only right that we ask him, since he is a PlayStation Cup winner, what are your impressions so far of season 2.5 as someone who plays both casually and competitively? We actually had a little run through comp on launch day. I think we went on pretty sizable win streak, and we got to see kind of how the meta was shaping up going into the new season. A lot of people were talking about the balancing changes. Thor and Jeff players were really upset. People were underwhelmed about Ultron, saying he needs buffs. He needs to be tuned up. And after getting to play, extensively, what do you think as a PlayStation Cup winner of how the meta is, and what do you generally think of the new season?
Well, I can't really speak on Ultron too much because funny, I haven't really touched him like at all this week, and it's not even just for like lack of trying. I genuinely haven't cared to, like, I'm more so waiting for the hype to die down. I haven't really cared to like, oh, I'm not about to fight everybody just to pick them because then I'm gonna get annoyed and people leave games and I don't really care for it. Ultron as a whole, because he did get a buff. That was one of the main things that I did say coming out of our early access period, which J Shock Blast was also a part of. We did a couple of games together. Ultron as a character, functionally, he looks cool. He looks great. I want to get that out the way. Like they don't really mess with too many of their designs, except for Wolverine and giving him those fucking moon boots. But past that, the designs are usually great. Gameplay wise, the biggest consensual issue with Ultron is that his healing is not great. Don't get me wrong. I understand that we have other healers like Mantis and Adam, for example, who might not necessarily heal that much, but like they're more so like, again, like also it's a mix of damage and healing with them. Like they're more off healer, right? For all of my other mobile players like Overwatch and whatnot, they're an off healer.
Exactly.
With Ultron is that he's too weak to even be considered an off healer. He's essentially just a DPS character with a healing ability. That's essentially what he is. Now, he did get a book. Now, I said that he cannot release in the manner that we had him in early access, which was bad. He did get buff. I believe Miller, Ross, our good friend, posted the full details, but it was his ultimate and his damage, I believe, that got a buff. The main thing that needed it did not get it, which was the healing output. Now, can Ultron work? Absolutely, right? If he's with, a strong healer or another strong two healers, because then he can pretty much just let the healer focus on the rest of the team while he, for example, dives in with a Thor or just any diver, help keep them alive and therefore and their such. But as a whole, it's just there's too many negatives around him, right? Next to his healing being bad, you can't even really justify having him out there, even if the healing was good, because you also have hit scan characters like Hawkeye, who me and Sadot have been making sure doesn't get a Luna team up at
Yes.
all this season whenever we play. You got Iron Man, you got Hawkeye, you got, I said hello already. You got
Punisher?
Iron Fist, yeah, Punisher. You have so many
Even
options.
Spider-Man.
Even Spider-Man. You have so many options to just deal with flyers. There's even less of a reason to want to keep Ultron out on the field because his healing is bad, and there's too many counters for him to justify having him out there, even inside of a 3-healer comp. Now, pushing him aside, right? Overall, I like the Thor buff. I don't necessarily like the 6-second cooldown on the hammer because I feel like this is a what's the term for it? The Mandela effect. At one point, that hammer in early access did not have a 6-second cooldown. You could just throw it and it come back. It did not have that. I could be wrong because I remember telling Jay about it, and Jay was like, "Yes, you mean they gave him what I've been saying he should have since release."
That's what I said now.
Oh, yeah.
About how he is now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said that in the early access when I said that his hammer was a normal ability, and for some reason that's gone. Like he lost a bit of defense, but it does allow for him to be more aggressive, which I do like. It's a bit easier to get back his awakening state. Dive as a whole, I won't say dive is dead. It's just significantly weaker.
Yeah,
it's significantly weaker. This half of the season. Granted, you do still have strong picks like Magic in Black Panther, for example, but this half of the season is very much going to be poke oriented. And sure. I'm okay with that. As a whole, I wouldn't say this is like kind of the worst balance update that we've gotten so far for Marvel Rivals. If you're a Thor or a Jeff lover, especially a Jeff lover, you will absolutely say that because Jeff players have been losing their absolute mind. They can't just be dickheads and DPS the backline the whole game instead of healing. But there are definitely some things that could have been done to make this better. My only hope is just looking forward and seeing what are the changes going to look like going forward into season 3. Are we going to continue to be more poke heavy? Are the flyers going to catch some kind of balance? Because flyers are definitely going to be a very big thing this half of the season. And how long will it take for just dive as a whole to become incredibly oppressive again?
What's interesting about what you said though about Jeff, I literally feel like Jeff is in every single match now though. Like
it's because of that damn Storm team.
Yeah, but like even that Storm team up, like I feel like it doesn't matter if Storm is there or not. Like I feel like people are picking Jeff in every match anyway, and he's playing the way he's supposed to, and not like, and I don't honestly, I do not give a fuck if the backline Jeff DPS players are mad because y'all suck and you're not doing your job. So
technically they were
suck a duck.
Being annoying was technically their job.
Yeah, suck a duck. I have no sympathy for them whatsoever. So, but yeah,
I definitely have sympathy because I don't think this is what they do is a healthy way of balancing the game, and it's definitely going to hurt the game long term. I do think Jeff needed a nerf, but the way they nerfed it, I don't think is right. Like even now, like I've been trying to give Jeff a chance, and I can see why people would gravitate towards him because obviously flanking Jeff requires a much higher level of skill than a lot of players have. And if you're going to heal, if you rather just be a heal bot, I mean, this new Jeff works great because you can just sit in the back and just hold spray like he's Rocket, and because it pierces now, you can do damage as well. So you can just sit there, farm damage, and farm your ult really fast. But my issue with Jeff is that even despite that, his survivability is so bad right now. If you pressure him at all, like he's dead because
if he get dope, that's it. That's
like,
it.
like literally is it like if you can try to go on the ground, but before you could go on the ground, pop your bubble, and you can get away. But now, if you go on the ground and pop your bubble, you basically don't gain any health, so they could just kill you immediately. Even if you throw all your bubbles down, you're just dead, and it feels really unfun to play. And then his attack, only has 3 charges. It feels really clunky and bad. Like they definitely went too far, and I think they definitely went in the wrong direction with Thor, because I think he's ass so far. I think he's actually arguably worse than Jeff in some ways, because I've yet to see any Thor pop off. Like I played this other games. We played a bunch of ranked games. I don't remember ever there being a time where I was like, man, this Thor is really popping off. Like every time, I feel like every time we ran into a Thor, he was just getting absolutely farmed because yeah, the being able to awaken more often is cool, but that wasn't Thor's strength. Like the awakening was a finisher. Like you go in, you catch someone out of position, you displace or something, you can pop your awakening ruins to finish a job. Now just being an awakening bot, I mean, that doesn't help because now you're just on the front line and Thor's survivability sucks. Like you don't want Thor standing still shooting his lightning bolts because he's completely vulnerable in that state. So now every time I see a Thor player, as soon as they start awakening, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kill you from back here. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, you can't do anything about it. You suck. It's terrible. I don't like it at all. I actually have played a lot of Ultron, and I do think he's really good. I think I found his niche. He definitely works better in triple support comps for sure, but he is pretty useful when it comes to providing support for flankers, especially Venom. Like if you do this Ultron and Venom dive combo is actually pretty gross, but just in general, you want to be just a nuisance. Like you provide a little support and target the enemy healers and just farm your ultimate. And then once you get because you get it really fast. So once you get your ultimate, keep targeting the enemy healers, occasionally heal your team. But you really are just playing a DPS role. Like you're playing a DPS that can support flankers with your drone. But he has very terrible survivability as well. Like you got to be careful with a little bit with your positioning cooldowns, because if someone comes after Ultron, once you use your movement boost and your firewall, that's it. you got to hit your shots from there or you're fucked.
I've had some really good games with him, and I've had some really bad games with him. Greek was yelling at me at one point, but it's not my fault.
I'm sure you deserved it.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's the only time I've ever barked back at Greek.
Greek is always right.
So no, I think the main thing you have to make sure you do though is just keep remembering to put his drone out there. And a lot of times you have to make sure you're putting it to somebody that's near you, because he has no like self heal, unless you're near them. But I've enjoyed him, and I'm not usually that good at flyers, and I'm not good at the flying aspect of him. But I do like him a lot. I love his Extron.
Extron, yeah.
That skin is probably one of my favorite in the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, amazing.
It's just so good. So
yeah.
But the cool thing is though is I've been able to play a little bit more Emma, and her ranked skin is like so good. I love it. I don't know what it is, but
I haven't even. I still haven't taken off her her boob window skin. I haven't
care about that one.
I haven't changed it since I got it, but I will try to get the gold Ultron, because I think that's gonna be pretty fly. But
And in regards to what the situation Jay had brought up earlier, that goes back to my whole point about like kind of why Ultron is so difficult to play. It's not that Jay necessarily was doing bad in that fight. It was quite simply just no one was dying. And there were three characters on that team that specifically countered flyers. Hawkeye and Hela were two of them. So in
Yeah,
that situation,
the part I was upset about was that I felt like other people should have changed, and I was doing it for the stream, and I wasn't going to change. So
I
it was
get
more
that.
that.
Yeah, you weren't wrong, Jay, because remember I told you that in the stream. You were not wrong.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to stay alive more because you kept falling over.
Yeah, normally I'm very flexible, but I really wanted to play Ultron, and I really needed other people to change because I was trying to be fair and rotate through because everybody tries to play him right away when the new character. And I do actually really enjoy Ultron, and I would like to get good with him. But he is definitely a challenge, and there are definitely a lot of people that are waking up and realizing how you have to take out the flyers, because I feel like you're not just running into just one flyer. You're obviously the team up you get with Iron Man is ridiculously good. Like I almost like you have to have Iron Man with Ultron. But obviously a lot of people are also playing Storm, so it's like a lot of matches you're running into three flyers.
yeah,
and it's interesting.
because a lot of people can't aim, but now they're forced to.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean, also when you're like, oh, when you're Thing, like, I mean, Thing is almost useless against
completely
a three flyer. Yeah, no, it's like it sucks because like you want to play these characters, and the other team's composition kind of screws it up, and it's just a matter of people realizing it and making the sacrifices. You know what I mean?
The only flyer he can do something against is really Ultron, because it's what's the word? Ultron plays the same with Storm in the sense of, in order to really utilize that kit, you have to play near your team. But the difference is Storm can defend herself. Ultron can't.
Yeah, it's tough. There are some people that will remain nameless that can sometimes play a little too aggressive with them and like act like they are a frontline player and
act like they're invincible.
Gio knows who he is.
The interesting thing is that this season, like, I feel like the hype just hasn't been there, especially after people saw Ultron and got to play with him. I was noticing that the player numbers didn't really move much at all this time around, and the PvE story aspect is interesting because it's something that a lot of people have been talking about even since the beta, because this is a Marvel game and it attracts a lot of people who've never played hero shooters before, and also a lot of people who play Overwatch. And one of the more popular things, well, infamous things at this point with Overwatch is the PvE story mode that Overwatch began to include and then ended up not doing, and it kind of
the only reason Overwatch 2 even exists.
That is fair. I mean, that's exactly it.
They kind of a lot of people felt kind of betrayed because they kind of sold them on this like whole expansion of story content, and then they said, actually, fuck you. and that just was the end of it. But and then Marvel Rivals comes along, third, very much taking elements from Overwatch, but adding, third person, a Marvel game. So people were naturally like, oh, PvE story, no brainer. They still haven't had it yet, but I think it's definitely something that we could for sure see in the future, and I think it will be a very big hit when it does come out, because there's a very large number of casual people who, even if they enjoy Rivals, they would like some more variety rather than just doing the 6v6 stuff all the time. Like, you know, they've thrown out these gimmick modes, but I don't think they really stuck much besides maybe Doom Match. Why are you raising your hand? It's not a classroom.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like you said, it gets the hell out there every time. People want stuff to do, which is why I'm so happy we're getting. Because for anyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty sure you guys know by now. We're getting a new mode. I forget the name of it. Oh, just like no, it's I think it's Ultron's Battle Matrix Protocol, which
it's basically team fight tactics.
Team fight tactics, and I fucking love team fight. Hold on, I love team fight tactics. I'm gonna show you something. I can't show you too much on my phone because I got stuff on here. I don't want y'all to see. I have team fight on my phone. If you see it right there in the corner, the little penguin on the left side, TFT.
Is that a Pornhub app?
No, that's Instagram. I have team fight tactics on my phone, so the fact that it's coming to Rivals genuinely makes me very happy for us content creators. There's a lot of content you can get out of team fight as well. I very much hope that, like, because we've had like modes come and go. I hope that it ends up like Doom Match, for example, where it becomes a permanent mainstay mode. Because I feel like that will definitely bring in a good number. That will definitely help keep a good number of players that's looking for something to do, but also people who like Marvel Rivals, who like teamfight tactics, who don't necessarily care for the 6v6 stuff, but they now have a wonderful merger of the two things. So now that's even more players coming in, adding to the ever-growing player base.
Yeah, I think that's clearly what their strategy has been with all these new gimmicky modes. Like they're kind of it feels like they're kind of throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what sticks. Like they're just taking popular party games and just throwing them into Rivals and seeing if something could go viral or become a mainstay. Like, you know, they did Splatoon with Jeff, you know, and I guess they at least won Greek over with this one. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I'll try it out, but like I do agree. One of the things that pushed me away from Overwatch back in the day was that the 6v6 stuff is that 5v5?
They ended up changing it to 5v5. Yeah,
They brought it back though,
and then brought back.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it was just not my style, but this is obviously different because it's got the Marvel characters, and I do really love it. I haven't been playing necessarily as much, mostly because, you know, I don't have a reason to.
Yeah. You're the quick play guy.
Yeah, like I don't really care about ranked, and I just like to do my challenges and get my characters to Lord. So it really just comes down to like who's playing and trying to play with people and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do like Ultron though.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like a lot of people, you know, obviously are crashing out over ranked or whatever like that. I don't know. It's funny. I have the highest win rate I've ever had since playing the game in competitive this season, but I'm playing less than I ever had. like I don't know. Just it just doesn't appeal to me because, for one, I feel like the game is just almost unplayable at this point if you're doing it solo. Like it's just unbearably cringe.
Yeah, I think that's sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And then, you know, you got to deal with like being, especially in rank, like being paired with people who have no idea what they're doing, and just, you know, the race, just a lot of racism. Like it's so like this community's gotten so bad.
A lot of racism and a lot of smooth brains.
So many.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like playing if I'm not streaming, you know, because like when I'm streaming, everybody knows I'm playing, so people show up and they maybe jump in with me. But like when I'm by myself, I don't know. I just try to jump in games and it's just not the same all the time, you know.
Yeah, I legitimately just hop on usually in the morning when I wake up, usually in the morning, and then if I'm waiting for something to load and I'll get my daily missions done, and then I'll just hop off and just call and just call it. Yeah, the community used to be really good. Like the Rivals felt completely different during like the beta and even on launch day, and then I don't know, things just started going downhill. The game's still fun. I still think it has a lot of potential. But I think season 3 is going to be really pivotal. I'm hoping that we see some pretty substantial changes, and I think they're definitely going to need to come out swinging with some A-list characters. Based on the lore, it looks like Jean Grey will be one of the playable heroes in season 3, so that's definitely a good start. But yeah, they gotta. I think they need a spark of something. Some changes to ranked placements, please. Bigger name characters and some PvE story will obviously go a long way.
I do think Deadpool is going to be that driver, but I think the problem with Deadpool is going to be that it's the problem with the game is that once you get these characters that you love, everybody wants to play them. So it's just, I know that's the style, that's the tough part, but man, I think Deadpool will definitely be a huge part.
And that's where adding new modes, will come in handy. Like I think they need a better permanent mode, and I think that could maybe the team fight tactics mode will pop off. Maybe not, but yeah, I think if you just had other options for people so they can always play their character and still feel satisfied, have some fun, I think that would be best for the game, because you're right, when Deadpool does come out, everyone's going to be insta-locking him.
Yeah. we need Tachyon Rifts.
Tachyon Rifts, yeah. I mean, they kind of did that in the clone mode. They had a clone mode, a big head mode, big head and clone mode. Yeah.
The fact that we have a big head mode and there was absolutely nothing teasing why MODOK was coming back as a clone doesn't make any sense.
Wilson was in big head mode yesterday.
Oh, too soon.
Is he asleep?
Oh yeah, he's snoring hard.
He is gone.
Yeah, he's out cold. So yeah,
sweet boy.
Yeah, he's I can just hear him snoring through my headphones. Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Sounds therapeutic. Yeah, they definitely need to bring out the heavy hitters. But for sure, if Deadpool hits, the only way you're playing him is in Doom Doom match.
I would disagree to that comment that Lucky made, because it's I mean, when you look at it this way, right?
I think she's pretty popular.
Yeah, when you think about the X-Men, she's usually one of 5, if not 6 people that comes to mind immediately. Because not counting Wolverine, because we're finally getting away from the 2 decades where he was more popular than the X-Men and he wasn't even on the original damn team. It's usually her, Storm, Cyclops, Magneto, or Charles. Those are usually the main people you always hear about. And seeing as how Jean has a fan base, just as the X-Men in general have a fan base just as annoying as MCU Wanda fans. Yeah, Jean is definitely popular enough to bring back a good number of people. For
sure. It's like if they anytime you bring in some X-Men, like Emma Frost, she's definitely not a name that a lot of people think of when they think of X-Men, but she definitely attracted some attention for the game. And I think if you have like popular, some of the beloved characters like Jean and Rogue or please Nightcrawler, I think you'll get a nice little surge there, but it's got to come with like some other changes, like new game, like some more game modes.
Jean is absolutely going to be a flyer. There's like no doubt about it.
Yeah, I would imagine she has to fly some, especially
it's like a central part of her.
Especially if she has Phoenix form,
Yeah. Here's the problem I have with Nightcrawler, and I think it's gonna be a challenge that they're gonna have with a lot of characters. Like, how do you make Nightcrawler and not just make him another version of Magic? You know what I mean? Like, it's tough, and I'm okay with a lot of like very similar characters. You know what I mean? But that's a tough sell this early in.
I don't think so. I think his abilities work completely different from Magic, and it'll be amazing in practice. I think he would be probably closer resembling Spider-Man. He essentially would be like a mix between Spider-Man and a Magic. Really really fast, agile melee fighter, but he's got his swords, but his movement.
He has his tail.
Yeah, his tail. He can run and climb on walls.
Yeah, but at his core, though, he's a Bamf guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna be Bamfing and sorting,
And Magic can do that in a limited capacity. Whereas
So I feel like one great ability that I think Nightcrawler is going to have if he gets added into the game, and if not, I think he should. It would be the ability to relocate teammates as well. To take teammates with you when you move.
Cool.
Like, for example, X-Men 97 when he dragged Wolverine through one of his teleports. Like, for example, like if he's a strategist, for example, he can have a healing move, and the other one is an escape move. He picks a target. If he's close to them, he teleports them both to a different location. Gets them out of harm's way.
Yeah, like I said, I know that they can find a way to make him interesting, but like that's the challenge with some of these characters, though. Like, you're gonna just have like Rogue. Okay, what's Rogue's one of her big powers? That she can copy somebody else's power, which is gonna feel a little bit like Loki. There's a lot of these characters, and I'm not saying their whole kit is going to be exact replicas, but you're gonna start seeing there's only so much you can do that's unique. And at some point, you're going to start getting even Deadpool, for instance. He's got a teleport, possibly. He could do swords, he could do guns. I mean, I know there aren't a lot of characters that do both, but like, what do you really do with him? Like,
honestly, I'm not worried at all. Like, because I would sit around and like I'll sit around just think of all the new characters they could potentially add, and even going through like some of the popular ones. And they're just going through their comic book abilities and everything like that. There's just such an overwhelming amount of like skill expression and stuff they could do. I have no doubt that we wouldn't have any problems. Like, if we were talking about like how can they make like Spider-Gwen feel unique, I think that's valid. But yeah, someone with like such a cool power set as Rogue or Nightcrawler, I think it would be very easy for the devs to come up with really creative ways to make them fun. That's not the part I'm worried about. I'm more so worried about will bringing new characters be like a long-term fix? I don't think so. I think it can. I think the right character can give the game a big boost, but ultimately they need to kind of address some core issues in order to make this like stick, like prevent any more player drop off. Like, there has to be some kind of fundamental shift or adjustments to the game, I think, because I don't think just adding cool new characters is going to be enough over the long haul, even if you're doing it every month. Oh, shout out to Peter Odin. And thank you, Phantom, for the two. We greatly appreciate it. Yeah, biggest thing for me is going to be the story mode. I think that would be the biggest like drop, the mic drop for my rivals if they do a PvE story mode. I think that's ultimately the trump card that they have if they really need to pull something. They're like, okay, we need something big. I think that's just always going to be kind of lurking. Justice forgot the nice video sequel. Speaking of superhero games, we had a couple scares Well, for one, the Black Panther game is still canceled. Unfortunately, all those people at Cliffhanger are out of a job.
Did you read Jason Schreier's article on that?
I did. I covered it in the video. So I covered it. I covered the initial cancellation of the Black Panther game, like the morning, like within like a couple hours of it happening, and it all sounded pretty bad. You know, the studio was closed, game was canceled, and Laura Mealy, who's president of EA Entertainment, released statements saying that they were focusing on like a small number of IPs. She mentioned The Sims, Skate, Battlefield, but she said they were also still going to do Marvel's Iron Man and the Jedi 3. And I'm like, ooh, so we're down to one Marvel game. But then Jason Schreier did his deep dive going into what happened behind the scenes, why Black Panther was canceled. And I covered all that today. But the big thing is that Mealy released some new statements and clarifying that they aren't completely giving up on Marvel. They're saying now that they're still going to they're still planning to release at least 3 new Marvel games, but it's all now on Motive Studios. And I compared it, basically they're making Motive Studios their Insomniac. They're starting with Iron Man, and what I think is going to happen, and I think this is why they probably were getting a lot of pushback after that Black Panther cancellation announcement, especially after the details about the game came out, which we'll get into because that game sounded insane. But they're like, okay, well, we don't want to completely give up on this Marvel thing because they've obviously put some money into it, and there is a buzz and demand for it. So I think they're going to look at how Motive's Iron Man does, and if that game does really well, then they're like, oh yeah, we can greenlight another Marvel game. But it's no secret that Andrew Wilson, the CEO, doesn't want to do any licensed games. So I think, like, if it was up to him, every EA game would just be live service slop with full of microtransactions if he could have his way. But they're making this compromise because they've had success with some of this stuff. And I think the Iron Man game is definitely on thin. I think it's definitely on thin ice. I think they're really looking to see if it could bring in that revenue to make up for all the money they have to pay to Disney. And if it flops, then I think they just pull the plug on the whole deal and just move Motive to like Battlefield or something. But if it pops off, then they could be like, oh, they could basically just turn them into Insomniac and just have them do Marvel games for the next 10 years or something, and they can have studios focus on everything else. But the Black Panther game sounded crazy. Obviously, the conclusion was basically that it was essentially too expensive and too ambitious. And
you can't be in pre-production for 4 years on a Marvel IP, man. Like you're just like, that's crazy. They didn't even have. All they had was stuff on paper. Like that's
still
wild.
shorter than what Stranger Things does.
Yeah, I was talking to Miller, some other people, and I was going through the article, and the problem was that it was they had if you're into the game, if you're into gaming, there was like a lot there to be excited about. And they did have executives. I mean, the executives literally approved the game for more funding. But I think other executives, mainly I think Andrew Wilson, looked at it. It was like, okay, well, this is the progress you made in 4 years, because they canceled more stuff at Respawn. Like Respawn just keeps getting fucked over and over again. Like everyone was talking about, the Cliffhanger stuff, but Respawn, despite them actually delivering, they keep getting fucked by EA because they look at they'll take a look and see, okay, well, we need to cut some more stuff. Oh, let's just cut these projects that are still early or
no more Titanfall 3.
No Titanfall 3, the Mandalorian game. They didn't say which ones, but when they canceled the Black Panther game, they also canceled some other projects that Respawn was working on because they were looking at what to cut. And they were like, okay, well, we'll just cut everything that isn't at a certain pace for development because we want to start getting some stuff out. So I can understand like why they could. I understand like pre-production is long, but they did have it. They had some gameplay. They had a lot of story elements, but they were from what I remember from the article, they were trying to present them a vertical slice and try to show them, what all the gameplay narrative stuff, but the executives kind of just didn't get it. And I mean, there's really, and I'm unfortunately that's kind of what happened with Monolith when they were over at Warner Brothers. They spent 4 years working on this ambitious sci-fi Nemesis system game, and the Warner Brothers execs basically told them, "Well, what the fuck? Where's Game of Thrones? Where's Lord of the Rings? Where's what? You need a popular IP attached to this. Like we're not putting this out." And EA was just like, "Oh, this is fucking taking too long," because Jedi Survivor, for example, they rushed that one out the door. They didn't care if it was buggy or not at launch. They were like, that game was done in 3 years.
Yeah, that's the thing that I take from the article is that we think about everything we heard about that Black Panther game. For the longest time, it was it's a create your own Black Panther story.
Yeah.
Like you're going to create your own character, and there's a lot of pushback on that. And then it turns into, you're actually going to play as 4 different characters, and you're all vying for the role of Black Panther. And that does sound ambitious and all that. And I like that certainly more than create your own Black Panther.
And the scrolls.
Yeah, and that's where they lose me a little bit, That
was my favorite part of the pitch.
Really? I don't know. The problem is what they needed to do is they needed to just get a ground level Black Panther T'Challa game out there.
Absolutely.
And do this in the next game. You got to get your first game out there and then build on it.
I actually
went
think
for the
right.
jugular all at once.
I think you are right there. And this is why I was saying I don't know why they left Warner Brothers and tried to do this at EA. Like it doesn't like you left the outer touch executives over there who didn't understand your vision and your ambition and just wanted corporate slop, and you go to fucking EA. I feel like if they went to literally as much as I make fun of them, I feel like if they went to Xbox with this, that Black Panther game comes out.
Yeah, it's possible. I just it's tough though because like Marvel is notorious about their licensing fees, and you can't have a Marvel project in pre-production for 4 years because, like, let's be honest, that means we're still probably at least 3 years away from the game even coming out.
Exactly.
They were still hiring people. Like,
they started because also they started the studio. They didn't have an established studio. They literally started a brand new studio, and so they were trying to build the studio up while hiring and building for this Black Panther game.
I genuinely believe that at this point, the Nemesis system might as well just be considered a curse for gaming because every game that is only touched like 2 games so far besides Shadow of War. And every game that is touched canceled in the same year, as a matter of fact, because Wonder Woman got canceled a few months ago.
But I think Wonder Woman was going through the same issue though, right? Like they weren't far enough into it either, and
because they had to restart. They had to restart it multiple times. Like that was such a shit. Yeah, because this started from. This is literally all Warner Brothers' fault. This all stems back to Warner Brothers. They had Mindless was over there. They were cooking up this cool Nemesis system sci-fi game, and David Haddad, who's now thankfully no longer at Warner Brothers, were like, we're not putting this out because you don't have a popular IP attached to it. We don't care how good the game is. It needs a popular IP. So Monolith, so all the top people at Monolith was like, go fuck yourself, and they just left. They just left and they went over and started Cliffhanger. So everyone that was left over were like, well, shit, we don't have anything now. All our bosses, everybody fucking left. quick, tell them we're making a Wonder Woman game. So they threw together this quick CGI trailer that they can throw at the Game Awards. Had not started the game progress on the game at all, and are like, yeah, we're doing Wonder Woman. Please come work for us. We have no one. We have no one here. So they had to literally rebuild the studio while figuring out how to do this Wonder Woman game that they just pulled out of their ass and told just so they could have something to say we can work on, and while rebuilding the studio. And then at one point they were like, okay, well, can we try to do a Nemesis system thing with the Wonder Woman game? And it wasn't coming together, so they were like fuck, we gotta reboot. They changed creative directors multiple times, and they ended up trying to settle on a more traditional action RPG instead of as ambitious Nemesis to the one. But by then you had Warner Brothers just had the Suicide Squad flop, they had Multiverses flop, they lose all this money, so they're like, well fuck, what's the progress on this Wonder Woman game? Oh, you had to reboot it? Fuck no. It's like nah, we gotta cut bait here. So it is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, and it's funny. Like one of the things I always remember about going to WB Montreal was one of the people that was there was wearing a Dev Wonder Woman shirt,
yeah,
and so it was very real. It's just and I think fans this is the catch-22 of the situation. Like fans complain, like, why are you announcing these games so early? I know it exists now. I want it now. And it's like, guys, fucking relax, okay? Like, it'll be out when it's out. Like Wolverine, like Grand Theft Auto 6, yeah, things take time, all right? So let's just relax. It'll get there when it gets there. And there's plenty of games before then.
The Wolverine thing pisses me off more than anything. Like, I understand GTA 6 is a meme, but it's obviously Rockstar. It's obvious why Rockstar takes so long. Those games are massively ambitious. They're super expensive, and more importantly, GTA 5 makes a fuckload of money every month, so they have no reason to rush out a new game. But I was for my video, I was running the numbers. Insomniac released 3 Marvel games in like a 5-year window, which is fucking crazy. And then you remember they also released another game, a Ratchet and Clank game, in that same time span. So from 2018 to 2023, Insomniac released 4 games and announced a 5th one, Wolverine. Not to mention PC ports for all of them.
Probably would have been 6 if things went better.
Yep, could have been a 6 with the Great Web, but because Wolverine is taking a little longer, because by the way they got hit with one of the worst cyber attacks in the history of the entire industry. People are fucking bitching about, what's taking so long? Well, you announced it early. You literally just got a game 2 years ago. Like you have, compared to Rocksteady has released 1 new game in the last 9 years. You just got 4 from Insomniac since 2018, and you have the fucking gall to bitch to them about their game taking too long. Wait,
yeah,
you don't. You don't have the right to complain about Insomniac's output after all they've released more games in the last 5 years than a lot of studios have released in 10.
Yeah, and then you also have to consider, shit, I lost my train of thought.
He was going to say, of course you're right. They're fucking crybabies and you need to shut the fuck up.
Yes, that always. But no, I was going to say, then you also consider the fact that every time somebody talks about a new Marvel game, Insomniac should make a Daredevil game. Insomniac should
literally
make
every time.
A Moon Knight game. Insomniac should make a
They said they
Deadpool
should
game.
make black. People are saying they should have made. People were saying literally, "Oh, I'm glad EA is not doing Black Panther. They could just give it to Insomniac now." I'm like,
Yeah.
no, they can't.
Yeah. At a certain point, like, but like I think back to like TT games, right? They make the Lego games, and they bought extra studios in the UK to have each studio working on different things. And for a period of time, we were getting Lego Marvel game, and then we would get Lego Incredibles, and then we would get Lego DC, and then we would or Lego Batman, and then we would get Lego Worlds, and then we had Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions was giving you different character packs like every few months, and like there was just always something going.
Mhm.
And then they ran into their nightmare with Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and it feels like it just shut them down completely because it was all hands on deck to pump out this game. And now, like, they've only released, I think, Lego Incredibles 2 was 2019, and then the next game was Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga 3 years later, and now there hasn't been anything in 3 years. They haven't even announced the new game yet. I don't think it'll be this week. I hope so.
But yeah, I didn't see. Well, to be fair, Jeff didn't reveal the full list, and we'll
Sure. And it could be during Xbox too.
Could be during Xbox. That's true. Which also was a great segue because there was a lot of stuff potentially happening this week at Summer Game Fest. A lot of game announcements. Jeff Keighley officially dropped the partner list. Part 1. It says round 1, implying that there's going to be more, but the partner list is pretty substantial. It's apparently it's a record 60 plus partners for Summer Game Fest this time around. That's over 60 developers and publishers going to be giving Jeff Keighley lots of money to advertise their games, and there's a lot of room here. I have this from Reddit Game Leaks, and this is a list so far
Deadpool VR
of potential reveals based on leaks and speculation so far. Yes, that's right. You read that correctly. Deadpool VR. There's a leak that Twisted Pixel, studio that is owned by Meta, will be doing basically an Arkham Shadows, but for Deadpool.
I'm so tired of that concept. I'm tired of these VR. Give us an actual damn game. Stop giving us games for a goddamn Meta headset. Only like 57 people bought.
I will say this.
Technically, over a million people bought it.
I'll tell you this. Actually, I saw an incredible stat. People buy the what's the Meta one?
Meta Quest 3, 3S.
Yeah, they buy that 20-1 over PlayStation VR over the holidays last year.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah. So like, VR is not for me, and I keep trying to force myself to do it. I bought a Meta Quest 3 for Batman Arkham Shadow. I hated it. Just it's such a nightmare to try to record content for. And I made one video and I was like, yep, I'm out. I'm returning this tomorrow.
I still have a Quest 2. I haven't made the leap to 3, but I've seen potential in VR. I had some fun with it, but I'm still waiting for that special VR headset that's like really hits where I think it could go. But yeah, in the meantime, I mean, if you already have a Quest 3, you got a banger last year with Arkham Shadow. You're getting another one this year with Deadpool. According to Game Sandwich, the details of the Deadpool game sound pretty cool. It's going to take place on Mojo World. Mojo has gotten his hands on Deadpool and is forcing him to be the star of his latest show, and you're going to have to navigate that. Reportedly, they're going to have appearances from Lady Deathstrike and Flag Smasher. There's going to be katanas, pistols, the usual, but you can also basically steal weapons from anybody and use them, and you can come up with creative ways to use weapons, like toss your pistol like a boomerang, all sorts of cool Deadpool stuff. And interesting, Neil Patrick Harris is reportedly playing Deadpool.
Wow.
This time around, it will be his actual third time voicing a character for a Marvel project. He played Spider-Man in the MTV Spider-Man series, and he also plays Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions.
The Amazing Spider-Man,
specifically, yes, and Shattered Dimensions. So I think a lot of people will be extremely excited, and then there's going to be a split right down the middle of people who are like, fuck, it's VR, and people who are like, yeah, it's VR.
I gotta find somebody to let me just borrow their goddamn headset. I'll buy them the damn game. Just let me borrow the headset.
Yeah, exactly. But other potential games so far for you see at Summer Game Fest, you see you have Bioshock 4, something about the movie and remake. There's supposed to be some more Bioshock coming. Sonic Racing Crossworlds release date. It was actually in the hype trailer that Jeff posted today. We saw a little Sonic Racing. Project 007. There is a James Bond 007 game in development. It's been in development out Interactive for a while. IO Interactive is on the partner list for round 1. They are confirmed to be on there, so this could be finally our first look at this James Bond 007 game, which I'm intrigued by. I think it could potentially be good.
It's gonna get compared to GoldenEye every step of the way. I hope you know that.
Depending on if it's that too, but also depending if it's not first person, then I think it'll be compared to Hitman. And remember the Mission Impossible game for N64? Everyone's understanding we talk about GoldenEye, but one of my which was great, but I remember one of my favorite N64 games. They actually had a Mission Impossible game. It was a third person action, and I loved it. It was so cool. Like you were doing like spy missions. You had the mass thing. You were doing infiltration. It was really cool. If they can kind of like kind of get those elements in. If it's closer to Hitman than like GoldenEye, I think that would be really cool. I'm all in on that. I'm very excited. You got some Little Nightmares 3, Liza P, Overture, some new content coming. And here's a big one: the Tomb Raider reboot. Amazon Games is confirmed to be one of the partners on round 1, and they of course took over publishing for the Tomb Raider game that Crystal Dynamics has been developing pretty much since the first year Marvel's Avengers came out, because Square Enix was like, fuck this game. let's move a bunch of y'all to work on this Tomb Raider in Unreal 5. And they've been literally working on it ever since. We haven't seen anything from it except a little bit of concept art. And I think this is finally potentially where we get at least a trailers. There were some leaks, and I don't know about this one, guys. I made a vow to never get another Crystal Dynamics game again. But what do you guys thinking about the Tomb Raider reboot?
I played the others. They were okay. I never finished them, so we'll see.
So, what about you? Were you a Tomb Raider enjoyer? Did Greek die?
Sorry,
oh,
my screen blacked out for a second.
All right. Yeah, we're asking what do you think about the Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider reboot potentially getting at Summer Game Fest?
Because I had to do like a 180 real quick, because I heard what you said, and then my mind went back to the movie that came out a few years ago, which was not that great.
Not, to be fair, neither was a Netflix animated series that also came out recently.
Was it? Because I haven't seen it. I don't know if the show is actually decent or not. I just know that
I watched the first episode. It wasn't very good.
I know that a lot of like the biggest controversy was specifically how Laura looked in that show, and that to me says that a lot of men are scared of women that work out.
Wait, hold on. the Tomb Raider show actually happened?
The Netflix, the Netflix. I'm
The
talking about.
animated one.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of insecurity and incels popping out because like just putting the show part aside, just in terms of the look, I mean, we all know who Laura Croft is. We all know the type of.
To be clear, she was very attractive in the show.
She was.
The animation was dog shit, but it wasn't because they made her unattractive.
Yeah.
She was very attractive, and I personally am a very big fan of ladies who work out. Shout out She-Hulk, but the animation in the show was legitimately dog shit. I will say that.
I can understand that. I just didn't like how it devolved into the argument as to whereas this is how we can tell a lot of people because I don't really watch anime no more, but I used to watch a lot of it, and this I tell a lot of people come from the more comic sterilized versions of how women look, or just even the anime ones where they're incredibly over proportion. No, a woman that's consistently going around raiding tombs is in the name, fighting magical creatures and running away from boulders like Indiana Jones. She's going to be buff. She's going to have some muscle definition on her. She can't.
Greg, I think you need to watch some more anime. There are a lot of women who work out.
Wait, hold on. No. Hey, look. Trust me, I know Miracle from My Hero Academia or like Revy from Black Lagoon. Trust me, I know. I mean the ones that specifically look at people like Orihime from Bleach. Like, this is how they should look. She should be out here fighting monsters and demons and climbing mountains and rocks and all that stuff and look like Orihime. No, that's not realistic. Like, a lot of y'all got to get out the basement. But
I mean, there are a lot of waifus in Bleach who also work out.
They do.
It makes sense that Orihime looks like that because she doesn't like work out like that. She's like she's a healer.
But that shouldn't be the general look for every like if you're a Rishi look no let me not say you're a Rishi. If like the blonde Spider Girl, I forget her name, but if she looked like that, and it wouldn't make sense. But my point is,
Travis is spitting.
Because I'm lucky.
I would pay money to see Travis try.
Because I'm lucky getting off topic. What's the word? I don't know if we're going to hear anything about it. I wouldn't be surprised. If anything, I would expect to hear more about the Devil May Cry show than I would Tomb Raider. I would expect to hear that.
Oh yeah, that show was also not that good, but I finished it. I don't know if I'm going to watch the new season. It honestly wasn't great. The original anime was better, but I'm personally not getting the new Tomb Raider. I made it clear that I was done with Crystal Dynamics after the Avengers fiasco, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like and what the reactions are. Though I kind of have a feeling how it's going to go, but Wolf Among Us 2 is intriguing. Warner Brothers wasn't on round one, but we are definitely due for a Wolf Among Us 2 announcement. It's been delayed, I think, for like 2 years in a row now. I know they upgraded to Unreal Engine 5, and we're still waiting to hear what's the new release date. Or if it's canceled. I mean, at this point, you kind of expect that announcement anytime now. But yeah, you would hope that at least we get something for Wolf Among Us 2, so DC fans kind of have something to look forward to, other than Injustice 3 in 5 years and another Batman game from Rocksteady in like 3 or 4. It would be nice.
No, they made Marvel's Avengers.
How dare you suggest that Crystal Dynamics could make a masterpiece like Guardians of the Galaxy? How dare you?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Injustice 3 announced ASAP.
We're definitely it's definitely a little early for that one.
I mean, maybe the Game Awards.
I mean, you never know. Yeah, we'll see.
Montreal made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm almost looking forward to summer Game. I'm looking forward to some of the other potential announcements. Obviously, I'm curious if we actually will see Marathon. A Marathon was in the hype
That
trailer.
game has gone through the ringer the past.
Yeah. Yeah, from the last I heard is that they canceled all of their paid marketing engagements. So I honestly don't think we're going to see Marathon, but I mean, who knows at this point? But the studio who made Arc Raiders, their direct competitor, is confirmed to be at Summer Game Fest, so we might get an Arc Raiders release date, which will be pretty funny, honestly, if you don't see anything. But I know a lot of people are going to be tuning in because Sony is going to be there, and whenever PlayStation is anywhere, people are asking about Wolverine, and Resident Evil 9, yeah, Capcom is going to be there. I think realistically, as we see here, you have the Street Fighter 6 Season 3 trailer. I think that's what we get. CD Projekt Red is there as well, and people are saying Witcher 4. I think CD Projekt Red is going to do maybe Crystal Dynamics under Amazon. They're the same studio. Amazon just giving them money. but CD Projekt Red's there. They're probably just going to be showing the Cyberpunk for Switch 2. I'm not expecting a Witcher trailer, but I don't think Wolverine is gonna pop up. Resident Evil 9, I think historically they save Resident Evil for like PlayStation events. So if we get the PlayStation, if somehow the PlayStation event that Jeff Grubb leaked happens this week, like before Summer Game Fest, I think there's a good chance we see Wolverine. But if it doesn't happen this week or we don't get an announcement, I doubt we'll see Wolverine at Summer Game Fest. I think Sony. I don't think Sony would give the first trailer to Jeff Keighley. I don't think they're that generous. I don't think they fuck with him that much. I think they could potentially, if they had the PlayStation event first, I could definitely see them saying, okay, we'll do some more promo with Jeff over at Summer Game Fest. But before, I don't know about that.
Sorry, I had to stretch. I did a lot of yard work today. Took a lot out of me.
Lame. I pay people to do my yard work.
I want to, but yeah.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, I actually did a full video on this. Definitely check that out on the channel if you haven't already. But if we're realistically, besides Deadpool VR, I didn't see them on the list, but I think Dispatch is probably a no-brainer for during Summer Game Fest season. That game looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for people. I could definitely see that. It's supposed to come out this year, but don't sleep on Rise of Hydra. Rise of Hydra was originally supposed to come out in December, so if they were planning to drop it in December, they obviously have assets prepared for like a showcase for, and the main thing people want to see is gameplay. So they should definitely be somewhere here, like whether it's Summer Game Fest or maybe Gamescom. I think absolutely if they're still trying to stick with early 2026, they gotta really soon, because early 2026 is like you're looking January, February. So they definitely got to get the market cycle going, because not a lot of buzz for the game right now, because people are kind of, I feel like a lot of people checked out because they haven't shown any gameplay yet. So there are some people who don't even think the game is real. Like just like what is because all they have is the story trailer. Like they haven't seen any actual game. And I think the gameplay for this type of game, I think is going to carry. I think it's going to determine, because right now it looks like a movie, which is great, but people want to play a game, not necessarily a movie. Yeah, like people aren't exactly sure what they're getting themselves into. Like Amy Hennig's involved, so we assume it's like Uncharted, but a Marvel game. However, we got to actually see it. We got to actually see what the gameplay is like. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of taking a wait and see approach for Rise of Hydra, which I don't blame them. Like it is kind of weird. It's been this long. I haven't shown any gameplay yet, at all. Like I feel like they definitely should have shown at least a little bit by now. I'm still rocking with the game, but yeah, time is ticking. They are kind of literally running out of time. Like I think we've literally seen GTA 6 gameplay before Rise of Hydra gameplay, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what to expect from Rise of Hydra. I don't know if it's going to be like just a on rails kind of experience, or if we're looking at like something that's a little bit more open, or it could be a click and point game for all we know.
I mean, that
what if there are cards?
Oh my god. That would be actually funny. Like,
Yeah.
I
don't think it's going to be that, just to be clear.
No, I don't. I think it's literally. I think it legitimately is going to basically be like Uncharted, but with Marvel characters. But it would be actually hilarious if it's like a narrative, like a Telltale type of game.
Yeah, like a quick time
event
kind of thing,
like literally just an interactive movie game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would be fucking pissed. but
yeah, but like there's a place for these type of games though. That's the problem that I have, is that like everybody gets annoyed if a game isn't narrowly tailored to exactly their specifications. And it's like, you know what? Sometimes you just give a game a chance. Like Claire Obscura, right? Like that game, for a lot of people don't like turn-based stuff. Right?
But a lot of people do.
No, I get that, but that's a huge turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like you're missing out on a potentially amazing game. And I've seen a lot of people like, I don't usually like turn-based, but man, this game got it right.
It's also not a traditional turn-based in that it's like actually interactive. I think that helped. I think that helped it a lot.
Like you being able to parry on the enemy's turn, like free of action. Granted, you don't know when it's gonna happen, and the boss that might make 20 moves before he attacks you just to fuck with you and make you parry at the wrong time.
I totally get it. And look, Final Fantasy traditional, turn-based game. Like I don't have a problem with turn-based games. I like, honestly, Midnight Suns. We talk about that a lot because that like really hurt a lot of people's like, it hurt people personally that game involved cards, but like it was so cool if you just played it and figured it out. Like I just don't understand why people like that's, I think, the biggest problem with gamers today is they want everything to be so narrowly tailored to their specifications, and when it's not, they're like, well, fuck this game. And then like years go by, the game fails, and they get it for free on some like PlayStation Game of the Month or whatever, and they're like, man, this game is great. What happened? And like we're seeing that now with Battlefront 2, right? Like, don't get me wrong, game had some issues at launch, whatever. They fixed them.
Some
sure. No, that's valid. But like here we are, like 10 years later, and people are like, why isn't there a Battlefront 3? It's because you didn't support Battlefront 2 until all this time later.
No, and now it's because Andrew Wilson shit the bed, and that's I wouldn't use Battlefront as an example, because if you look at the Battlefront saga, the launch of it was inexcusably bad. Like it was the biggest disaster in gaming at the time. Andrew Wilson became like the #1 villain. For years after that, EA was voted the worst company in the world. Like this is a massive, colossal, epic fuck up on the part of
that
EA.
Game. At a certain point, was the main thing behind. This is what bad microtransactions look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the devs fixed it. They took all the stuff out and they added more updates and made the game better, and the players appreciated it. In fact, they really loved the new changes and started and they went to 180, like, hey, credit where credit's due. DICE fixed the game. They took all the bullshit out. This game's really good now, and they were looking forward to more and more updates. And then Andrew Wilson said, "Oh, that's great. Fuck you. We're pulling support." and then people were like, "Well, can we get Battlefront 3? We want a Battlefront 3. Like, we love the progress your guys made after you changed the microtransactions." and DICE said, yeah, we're down for Battlefront 3, and they pitched Battlefront 3, and Andrew Wilson said, go fuck yourself. I'm not paying Disney any more money. And then that was
But
the end of it.
that's the problem,
it wasn't because the gamers didn't support it. It's because Andrew Wilson's a fucking greedy asshole. That's why we don't have Battlefront 3. It had nothing to do with the fans.
Sure, but I at some level though, if Battlefront 2 wasn't the mess that it was, and that it hit the way that people are like wanting it to now, if it hit back then you're more likely to get a Battlefront 3. But like all these years later,
it did hit. It sold 9 million copies. They just said Andrew Wilson was just a fucking greedy asshole, and he ruined the whole thing.
Well, I don't know, man. Like all these years later, to like act like it's a surprise after everything, that like I just feel like maybe you're right, that is a bad example, but there are so many games that we see it all the time. Like what happened?
We saw it with Gotham. We're seeing it with Gotham Knights after it went on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Hilariously, just like the other day, we saw when people were reacting to the Black Panther cancellation news, somebody on Twitter posted, said, hey, we still have Rise of Hydra, and they used gameplay from Marvel's Avengers, and everybody was like, man, that gameplay is fire. Like what is, oh man, that looks cool. They fucking thought it was Rise of Hydra. Like, no, it's fucking Marvel's Avengers, and that became a meme, man. It's funny, like it does happen sometimes. But again, even in the case of Marvel's Avengers, the game was obviously, and same with Gotham Knights, the game was better than people gave it credit for, because a lot of people just wrote it off. But it was also, in the case of Marvel's Avengers in particular, perfectly valid if you had no interest in getting Avengers at launch, because it was a terrible launch. Like,
sure. I just think a lot of times gamers are their own worst enemy in so many ways.
100%.
And I'm looking at like lately the Randy Pitchford thing. Okay, boy. Nobody wants to hear you're not a real fan. Okay, that is like probably the cardinal sin of being an executive. Okay, you just can't say that.
That's a very wild thing.
It's a very wild thing to say, but
it's a statement.
I do think that like he understands that now, and I do think that the apology has been sincere, and I do think that there are people that are just going to pile onto this for the sake of doing it forever. Like they're just going to sit there and keep bitching about it. All right. And it's really annoying. Like I wanted to click under. They announced like a little package where you get like a Borderlands hat and a pin and a couple other things in a little kit. And I was like, oh, I want that. I want that hat. That hat looks sick. Okay.
Yeah.
And I went to order it, and the shipping was like almost as much as the thing. So I was like trying to see if anybody else was commenting on that. And it was just lots of people saying, oh, I don't know, I'm not a real fan. And it's like, you know what? These same people say like way worse things 10 times a day. Okay. And you're going to just sit here and pile on for like you're the bad guy now. Okay. Like it happened. He apologized. He's trying to be, up until that point, he had been trying to be real about it. And, you know, it is what it is. Okay. It sucks. Terrible situation. Shouldn't have said it. But, you know, and I'm enough of this. Like, see, here's the thing. He has no control over this. Okay. That is the publisher's choice. But I hate to break it to you, games should be $80. They should. A lot of them, not all of them.
Some.
But like, yes. And Borderlands is probably one of those games. It is what it is. There is no way that like everything else can go up in inflation, but video games have to be stuck at a certain price point. Like there needs to be fluctuations. And honestly, if you're gonna sit here and make a big deal over a $10 difference in a game, just wait for it to go on sale. Who cares? You just don't get it at launch. It is what it is. If you're like, go play it another time if you really want to play it when it's cheaper and in your budget. But nobody's saying $89.99. Where are you getting that number?
Completely made up. But I think the biggest issue is that obviously gamers have grown used to certain prices. Obviously, there are different generations. Like there are people who will constantly remind them, like, hey, actually, games used to be much more expensive earlier on. But also, to be fair, game development was a lot. Everything involved was a lot different back then. You know, there was no digital option, and there were a lot of things with the investment technology that was supposed to make the process of game development cheaper for and more accessible for the consumer. And it seems like a lot of companies have just taken that opportunity to just gouge people for as much as possible. Now, I think there are definitely games that are worth $80. I think there are people who would argue, I would happily pay $80 for like a Baldur's Gate 3. But I think I think the other issue is that they could also just not sell games for $80 and still make a tremendous profit. But executives want to be able to buy vintage sports cars and have Diddy parties on yachts. So that's the other thing that gamers kind of can't overlook. The very transparent executive greed and maximizing shareholder value bullshit.
And these same people have Amazon accounts, and these same people support all these other companies.
Amazon has amazing deals, so I have no beef with Bezos.
These same people have like a wall of shoes they're never gonna wear. Okay, I listen. There's all sorts of
I don't think buying things excuses executives for being shitheads.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that like you pick and choose when you're going to be upset about these things. You know what I mean? And I don't understand. Like, if you love this game,
I don't think I've bought it. Actually, I don't think I bought a new pair of sneakers in like 10 years.
Well, then I'm not talking about you, obviously. Like these are examples of things that happen. Like, I see people all the time that are like, "Oh, I have like 40 pairs of Jordans. I just got this Jordan drop." Like it like people spend their money the way that they want to. But then at the same time,
everyone has their perception of value.
But then you look at a game like Borderlands, okay, which as somebody who has like played the absolute living crap out of every single one of them, okay, you're going to get like probably at least 50 to 100 hours out of it, like easily anywhere in between there, okay? And you're telling me that you're not willing to pay $2 an hour for entertainment? Like,
I think most people would have happily. I think most Borderlands players would have bought Borderlands 4 even at $80, assuming like all the upcoming reveals were well and the game looked as great. Like I thought the state of play was really good. I thought it looked really good there. If the game price came out and it was $80. I think obviously some people would bitch just like they did with the Switch too, but ultimately people still bought the Switch, still bought it. I think there would be less pushback on Borderlands. I think it's literally because Randy opened his big fucking mouth.
right, but like, but that's the thing. Okay, so he said something stupid. Okay, these same people, I like Travis says 10 times worse things every single chat. Okay,
he's not.
I understand.
He's just some asshole in chat.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, he fucked up, but people never let go. Like, he did that one thing that one time. I mean, so now also, we can never let him off the hook.
I mean, let's also not pretend like this is isn't the first time Randy Pitchford
put his understand. Your track record's awful, Travis.
Yeah, you're horrendous track record.
Yeah,
to be very fair, Travis.
Yeah, like
you're horrible.
Like, yeah, but like, no, I understand. Like that was cardinal sin. Like Scarlet Letter, give it to him, right?
Yeah, Randy unfortunately says a lot of fucking stupid shit.
Nobody wants to hear that shit, and I get it. But like, it sucks because up until that point, he was explaining it perfectly.
Yeah, his PAX explanation was perfect, and he should have just responded by posting that video.
He should have said what he should have said was nothing. There's no reason for you to be responding to these people on Twitter. Like, you just don't have to do it. And I understand he's very passionate, obviously, about what he does.
Just like he's very passionate about the Borderlands movie.
Yeah, look, you know, sometimes people are wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
he's wrong.
It is what it is, and that's fine. That's fine. But like those Borderlands, I would honestly, I would pay $100 for every Borderlands game I've ever owned, easily, day one. Actually, I bought the collector's edition of all of them.
And that's very weird. Like, yeah, I think Randy is his own worst enemy, and someone should take his Twitter account away until Borderlands 4 comes out.
Yeah, and that's 100%. That's 100%, right? Like, he definitely that was the wrong thing to say. Everybody learns from it. You can't say that to the fans. They will not, like, that will never work.
Yeah,
any platform, not a movie, not a video game, not shoes, not anything. You can't do that, you know. And it's just weird behavior to me to watch people like never let go. Like,
I think it's fair. It's like this happened like a month ago. I think people are going to meme, and then until the next Borderlands reveal, and as long as Borderlands 4 keeps having cool reveals, and yeah. I think that's how you change the narrative. Like, how everybody was, you know, shitting. Helldivers 2 was like laughing stock at it. Community, everyone was shitting on it after the whole Sony debacle with the PSN requirements and all the nerve. Like everybody turned on Helldivers, and then Helldivers turned it around just by putting in the work, doing stuff to appease the fans, make the game better, and you know, and that's how you can change the narrative. Pittsburgh just needs to not say anything stupid again, and just let the game speak for itself.
Exactly. I think it's more of like an annoyance thing to me, where I watch people be like shitty on social media all the time, and then like a guy like makes a misguided comment, like that he should have known better. He should have known better, to be clear, right? Like, I'm not taking him off the hook, but like, you know, it's like now he's never gonna let it go, and it's just weird behavior to me. Because like at a certain point, you're becoming worse than what the comment was. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's still pretty funny.
It was stupid for sure, but like at a certain point, it's like, okay, we get the point. You know what I mean?
I don't care that much. I was getting Borderlands 4 anyway, but I was like, oof, bro.
like it's one of my favorite gaming franchises of all time. Like, literally in my holy trinity, like my top 3: Borderlands, Battlefield, and Knights of the Old Republic. Like, those are my franchise. Like, those games I'm always going to be there for. So like it's hard to see, because like, and I've met him, he's a good guy, you know. So I don't know, but I also know that he has said some dumb things over the years, and it sucks. I wish that he would just like
it's just
take a step back.
It's honestly just the state of the a lot of entertainment right now. Like, vibes are very important. Comments are very important. Trust is easy to lose, especially if it's coming from someone in position of power. Like I remember a lot of people were very excited about, you know, people had reservations obviously about EA, but you know, they were like excited about new Marvel games. I can't wait for, you know, Iron Man and Black Panther, the mysterious third one. And then this happens, and everyone's like, well, fuck EA, all over again. You know, people, even with the news that they still want to do the Marvel game deal and just have Iron Man be the anchor and have Motive do everything, people are still skeptical, as they should be, like, you know, because they've been burned a lot. And you know, personally, I don't think any of these games are coming out unless Iron Man like sells like 10 million copies at least. Like if Iron Man doesn't deliver like a big hit, I think they're just gonna shut the whole thing down and just have. I don't think they're gonna close down Motive, but I think they're gonna just say, yeah, we're not doing this Marvel shit anymore. Andrew Wilson wanted the excuse. I think if Andrew Wilson could have gotten away with it, he would have canceled the Iron Man game too. I think he just does not want to pay those licensing fees anymore, and just wants to just shut it all down. But if the Iron Man game does well, then he will have no choice. But I think we got to be if you want those Marvel games, you gotta buy Iron Man. you gotta buy it. Obviously, don't buy it if it sucks. But like if you're interested in this game and it looks good, just buy the fucking game. Like don't be like, oh well you're like most of your beef with EA like has nothing to do with anything. Like a lot of people don't even realize EA doesn't even have microtransactions in their single player games. Like they're stuck on old shit.
I honestly hope I'm glad Travis won't play Borderlands 4. Like he doesn't deserve it. He's not a real fan.
They're not a real fan, Travis.
No. I said it. Like honestly, like the idea that a $10 difference in price is gonna be like a make it or break it is asinine to me. Like
I'll say that
if the game's good, like you pay what it costs.
If you're willing to pay $70, but you're not willing to pay $80, you're not a real fan.
Not a real fan.
Not a real fan. Does the EA pay license fees for Madden? They do. Apparently, they also make a fuckload of money from Madden. And
I don't understand why people assume how much money I make. I really don't.
I also don't know what their deal is with the NFL. I would imagine it's potentially more generous than the deal they have with Disney, but they make an absolutely insane amount of money off of Madden. So whatever fees those are, they're obviously not worried about them.
Yeah, because of the microtransactions.
Yeah, I love those microtransactions. I think I read a stat that like
hold on. You don't know if it's the best product possible. You're just gonna like not get it because of $10. So
legitimately,
again, you're legitimately like not making sense. You're just saying stupid shit that you don't understand.
Yeah, Travis, you're not making a value judgment on the game. You're just saying because Randy's an asshole, you're not buying a game that you were previously going to buy.
Right. Exactly. That's literally all you're doing. Like if it's a game that you want, like the price is the price. All right. Like I don't go to a lot of WWE events because I don't want to spend that much money to go to a show, even though I really want to go to the show, you know? But I've gone to AEW shows because they're significantly cheaper and I can get really good tickets. And I don't enjoy AEW anywhere near as much as I enjoy WWE. Like at some point, the price is the price, though, you know. And if you want to do it, that's what it costs, and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're actually really interested, if you can afford it, then I mean, just get it. If you really,
let's immediately go to a $500 video game now. That makes a lot of sense. It's $10.
We're not talking about. The only way that example makes sense, Travis, is if you said you would pay $450 for the next Lego game. No, not even that. $490 for the Lego game, but not $5. That in that case, that's how you make that example make sense. In which case, yeah, you should just pay the fucking $10. Like that's the point we're making. If you arbitrarily set the benchmark at I'll pay $69.99 for Borderlands 4. I won't pay $79.99 for Borderlands 4. That's arbitrary. Like you can, if you can afford $69.99, you can absolutely afford $79.99. It is what it is.
And it's wild because we have this world of games where people are paying like $30 for a fucking skin in a free-to-play game. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like
yeah, people will pay literally over the course of a free-to-play game, like over a year, could pay like $500 or more. Right. On a free to play game, but they'll be like, oh, $80, $70, like come on, like it's not.
Yeah. Look at like Street Fighter 6. Garrick is bringing up Street Fighter 6 right now. Okay, So you pay the $70. I don't know how much it was, 50 or 60 or 70 at launch. I don't know if it was 70 because the price change had happened.
Yeah.
And then you got DLC for the Ninja Turtles. In order to get all the Ninja Turtle stuff, it was like $100. It was like $20 per turtle, and that was just that aspect. So it is what it is. Like, this is the gaming world now. They've already said that Borderlands 4 cost twice as much to produce as Borderlands 3. Okay, so that's why the games cost more. It's not. It's everything else costs more. Like, it just is what it is, and it costs more for them to have to do too.
I wouldn't necessarily pass it on the put that necessarily, because the reality is the consumer doesn't give a fuck, and they shouldn't.
I understand that,
and it shouldn't, like, because especially the problem with that is also because you have games like Clair Obscurs or Black with Wukong, where it's like you have these studios over here who are blowing out their budgets, and then you have studios over here who are putting out games with reasonable budgets that are like blowing away a lot of the big AAA or quadruple A or quadruple A stuff. So it's even harder for gamers to have like that sympathy. Is like, okay, well, why are you spending $400 million on this slop, where this studio over here made a game that's 100 times better for like a tiny fraction of what you spent on it? So I gotta understand that perspective as well. Like, it's not the consumer's fault if you're running an unsustainable business model. Like, you present them a product, and you look at the market, and you have to determine what's the value proposition, how much can we get away with. Unfortunately, a lot of executives also think of how much can we get away with that makes me richer, but it is what it is. But then the consumer has to look, okay, do I think this game is worth it? And if not, well, it's gonna be a rough time. I think if Borderlands 4 is $80, I don't expect it to be that much of a barrier. I think at this point the biggest barrier to Borderlands is going to be Randy's big fucking mouth.
I honestly, the $10 extra is worth it just so that we end here, because that's where it's going to end for most consumers. They're just going to buy it,
except for GTA. That's the only game that could be $500 and people will still buy it and not care.
Exactly.
100%. Like, yeah, when I saw people talk about, oh, GTA 6 might be $100, I'm like, yeah, okay.
So what? Yeah, like the average GTA player has probably, number one, bought the game on
every
Xbox
platform,
360 and PS3, Xbox One, PS4, and Xbox Series X and PS5. And on top of that, probably played 200 to 300 hours on each platform,
and probably pay like $1,000 in shark cards.
Exactly. And that's the part that drives me insane, is that like people will nitpick this game, but then realize, holy shit, I've spent all this money on this other game, and it's like, dude,
I don't even play it.
Weird. It's weird behavior.
I don't even play GTO Online. I played GTO Online once, and I still bought shark cards.
Yeah, and that overtime argument that people usually like to spend, like, no, yeah, I didn't pay, $987 on shark cards that one. It was overtime. It doesn't matter. You still paid that much.
Still paid the money.
You still paid it over.
You had
however much time. You still gave them your money, which is what the whole basis is.
Yeah, you had the money. You gave it to them. Like, yeah, you don't have to, and again, you don't have to necessarily buy a game at launch, but a lot of people will just kind of have these warped perspectives on games that don't even make logical sense if you do look at their spending habits, even on other games. But I think right now the biggest thing is that this is kind of just a cycle that happens. Like, whenever there's a price increase in games, like, people bitch about it, and then people just buy the games anyway, and it makes no difference. Games were way more expensive when I was a kid. The prices have come down, then they went up, and people bitched about $70 PS5 games, and then everyone just bought the fucking $70 PS5 games, and no one cared. Like it's not gonna change. Like you're gonna have some games that are 80, some games that are 70, some games that are 60, some games that are 40. That's just going to be the market, and it's going to be up to you to decide whether or not it's worth it. Obviously, Nintendo can get away with it because they've got their fan base in a chokehold. Like I'm not one of those people. I've not spent any money on Nintendo products, and I will continue to not do so. But I know as soon as I saw those prices, I'm like, that's not going to do anything. They don't care.
I'll tell you what. I think honestly, watching Travis go through it in the chat might be more entertaining than all three of us combined, because now right? Oh, I'd buy it for $80 for sure.
I mean, we already knew he was going to buy it regardless. Like
Yeah.
we all knew he was just yapping. Like like Borderlands for he's a Borderlands fan. Borderlands 4 objectively looks great. Like like he's gonna buy. He literally went to the 8 stage degree.
I will say this though, Gabe. I saw the conversation you guys had earlier. You're fucked. Superman ain't making $2 billion, and you absolutely agreed to $2 billion. So
$2 billion is crazy, but funny you should mention that, because I don't know if it'll get $2 billion, but it is cooking right now. They recently did a box office projection at early box office projection at Superman. These are usually pretty accurate. Unfortunately, it was very accurate in the case of Thunderbolts, which is unfortunate, because I really liked Thunderbolts. Me and Jay both agree Thunderbolts, very good movie, but did not make its money at the box office. Couldn't overcome it. Superman looks like it's not going to have that issue currently. Based on box office tracking, the film is currently on pace for a $154 to $175 million opening weekend domestically. Based on early forecasts, it would make it the biggest film opening of 2025 and the biggest opening for a Superman movie ever. Which honestly is not surprising. I know Jay has reservations, but I don't know. As soon as I know you thought it would do well, but I think it's
gonna be awesome. I think Corn Sweat's gonna be my Superman.
Yeah,
I'm already fine that they've replaced Cavill.
As soon as I saw that first trailer, I knew this was going to do well.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's going to do $2 billion.
And that was before I saw the reaction to the trailer. When I saw how many people watched this fucking trailer and how much of a buzz this got going for DC and Superman, I'm like, this is going to be an event. This is going to be a phenomenon. It's going to be one of those event movies. It just has all the vibes. It has the vibes.
I just don't think any movie will ever make $2 billion again. I just, people don't go to the theaters like that anymore.
They said that about Avatar, and they did it again.
Yeah, but Avatar keeps getting sent back to the theaters, and Avatar is also far enough back to where people were still going to movies. Now they're just not, and I think Thunderbolts proves that, because like objectively, everybody was raving about Thunderbolts. It should have been in people's ears. Hey, this movie is great and it's worth going to the theater to see, and they still didn't.
I don't think that proves that though, because people said that Minecraft was dog shit and it made like $1 billion.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed that too, because I was one of the people that like didn't see Minecraft before seeing all of like people's impressions. Like, oh my god, this movie's horrible. I'm not gonna lie. There's one thing that threw me off. I don't know if I'm pretty sure y'all seen the comments where I was like, I think it was a part of the movie. Some parts did look like it was unfinished. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. That definitely confused me a lot. But past that, it was genuinely to turn my brain off. Funny movie.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think
my
Minecraft
niece,
has that benefit
Yeah.
of being Minecraft, you know, and
my
kids are
niece
gonna.
don't even know what Minecraft is, but yet she randomly runs around yelling lava chicken.
Yeah, I just think that like with Minecraft, like if the kids don't have uh the same like they
Retention
don't
rate.
look at things. Yeah, they don't look at the same way we do.
And I don't think people just looked at Thunderbolts that way. When Thunderbolts was first announced, I was like, why? Like, because I was looking at the cast, I'm like, this is basically Black Widow 2.
I don't
And
think anything has ever come out about this, by the way. Like I think he made some jokes, but like
I saw someone mention that, and I was like, wait, what? And then I looked into the story and what it was about. So apparently Randy was at what was it, a rent fair, a medieval times,
yeah.
and he had he got into some trouble because he apparently had a flash drive that apparently contained company privileged company information, and he accidentally left it at a medieval times, and he was accused of doing that, but also having a PDF file material on the flash drive, and he later clarified that it was pornography, but it was not the PDF variety,
Yeah.
and they had like a legal proceeding, and he was like cleared of wrongdoing.
Yeah.
So from what we know, not a PDF file, just a guy who carries porn on a flash drive while at medieval times, as you do.
Yeah, like are we all gonna pretend like that doesn't matter. If that was the case,
Weird.
you fan
Weird.
weird for sure. If that was the case, I obviously would not back him up. But you know, a little porn on a flash drive, whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, to be clear, no evidence that he actually is
Right.
a PDF file. Like,
Yeah. Like listen, it's complicated because like this guy is the reason for so much joy in my life because of like 5 different Borderlands games, right?
Right.
Like so it sucks, and I've met him before and he was a really cool dude. I struggle because like it's the human element, right? We're all human. He said something that was dumb. It was a big mistake. He shouldn't have said it. And no fan will ever react positively to that. But like it's just at a certain point, like you become the problem instead of him. You know, that's the only point I'm trying to make. At a certain point, you got to let it go. But some people will just 5 years from now, people say, "Are you a real? Oh, am I a real fan? Should I be able to get Borderlands 5?" So anyway, sorry.
I don't know.
I just wanted to address that real quick.
I don't know if Randy's a feet guy. I don't yet. I don't know. I didn't look too deep into the specifics of exactly what he had on that flash drive, and honestly did not want to know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do remember there was something going on with that back in the day, but nothing ever came from it. He's obviously still there, so you know, I don't know.
He was found not guilty. Yeah, so he's only guilty of being irresponsible with his flash drives at medieval times. It is what it is. But there was
Blazing. I totally get that. Okay, but like, trust me. I've been to studios, a bunch of studios. I've met the devs. I've met the execs. I mean, you can't tell me though that like Ed Boon isn't as big a reason for my love of Mortal Kombat as all the devs that made it. You know what I mean? Like Randy is very involved in Borderlands, so I get it. I get it.
Valid, though he even though he should shut the fuck up, he is obviously very important to Borderlands, it wouldn't be where it is without him.
Just take away his Twitter for a few months.
Yeah, or forever. But at the same time, Superman got this great news.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, not as great news. Apparently they had a test screening, which in itself is weird for Marvel, because apparently what Marvel tends to do is they'll have screenings for like friends and family, which basically is they'll bring in people who work for Marvel and have them screen the movie and give feedback on it. And then they'll take that, which I think is pretty sus and kind of explains a lot. Honestly, if instead of testing it against real audiences, you're just getting employees of the company together and asking them, hey, I pay your salary, but tell me your honest opinion on this Marvel product. What do you think of it?
I'm actually very excited. Sorry,
I don't think that's a great way, but apparently they even though it's pretty late in the game, it's like 2 months out. They did a test screening. They did, and we're hearing kind of mixed things. There was one story that blew up because somebody was saying the crowd was shouting mid, but apparently it was just one guy who saw it, wasn't that impressed, called it mid, but he was talking to one person. There was another person who did a review, said it was like kind of a 7 out of 10, kind of gave their idea, said Galactus was really cool, well done, best part of the movie. They said Torch and Thing were just kind of there. They said Reed's powers were kind of ass in the movie. They said they didn't really do much with the Silver Surfer either. So honestly, consensus seems to be that it's just fine, and it's going to be vary from person to person. But I don't think you definitely want to hear mid or fine for your Fantastic Four movie 2 months out.
I mean, they don't have like a high bar for Fantastic Four movies to like get over, but I'm really excited for it.
I'm still going to watch it. I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's not going to do as well as Superman, and I don't think it's going to be better either. I think probably odds are still good. Jurassic World is going to do the most, but I think with these numbers, Superman is probably going to be number one. I think Jurassic Park, the new Jurassic Park, will be number two. I just hope the Fantastic Four movie isn't a flop, because Marvel, I think, was kind of banking on this. Like they needed some good momentum. Probably they weren't expecting much from Thunderbolts, but they were at least hoping to get Fantastic Four off the ground, because it's supposed to lead into Doomsday and Secret Wars, the big blowout movies. So if Fantastic Four like loses money as well, that's going to be bad.
It's been really funny to watch. Rob Liefeld is the creator of Deadpool.
He hates Kevin Feige. Holy
he really is, but he's not wrong.
At all.
He's been tweeting about like Thunderbolts. He's like, if in any other profession, if somebody had this streak of bad performance, they would have been fired. And I'm kind of on his side at this point, because like, I don't know, man, Feige's not doing great lately.
It's been a fucking never-ending shit show since Endgame. The cracks were showing really, even before Endgame. The cracks were starting to show for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough because I don't
know if we can put everything at Feige's feet, but at the end of the day, he is the public face of Marvel. He has a lot of power. He has a lot of influence, and it's just the fact that Marvel, the MCU post Endgame, has been much shittier than the MCU pre Endgame. It just is what it is, and a lot of it just seems to be avoidable mistakes, like hiring people who not only aren't familiar with the source material, but having producers actively telling people not to look at the source material when making these Marvel products. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Like, for example, what was it? I believe they specifically used the Fortnite event as the basis for what Galactus should be in Fantastic Four instead of going to the comics. And that was what Feige told them to do.
Yeah, and it's
just-
hard to hear stuff like that, man, because like the fans are pretty straightforward about what they want, you know.
Yeah, they'll happily let you know, and it just seeing how I feel like Secret Invasion was like kind of the most egregious one, where it's like, okay, you know, if you were an actual Marvel comic fan like Kevin Feige is supposed to be, you know how important and how not only that, how much potential profit they could have squeezed out of Secret Invasion done properly. Like you could have had an entire series of phases, like you had the Infinity Saga for Thanos. You could have had the Secret Invasion saga. Like that's how much you could have milked
That
this.
could have been an entire. That could have been, if not a phase, almost an entire arc in and out of itself, just because of how much that shook things up. Instead, we got Maria Hill dying in the first episode.
You have a dog shit miniseries on Disney Plus, where it was just like, what do you in a mid Captain Marvel movie? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like who's like he signed off on this shit, and it's just like at a certain point, it's like what are you doing? He's right. Like I'm sure there's other producers, and I'm sure they've been fired or let or walked or whatever. But at the end of the day, Kevin Feige has a lot of power and a lot of influence, and he made some just unbelievably stupid decisions that have ruined the quality. And there was a lot of people saying and questioning whether or not Kevin Feige was really the mastermind that people assumed he is behind all the success of the MCU, and whether or not, you know, there were other people, you know, behind the scenes who were really having the great ideas and getting and making everything work, and Kevin Feige just kind of the public face taking all the credit. And now that they're gone, apparently we're starting to see, oh, this is what it looks like when Kevin's just by himself calling the shots. And it seems valid because the MCU has, after Endgame, has been kind of dog shit. And I hear James Gunn was actually one of those people who had a lot of influence behind the scenes and ideas on what was going on with the MCU, and they kicked him out when he got canceled, and then he ended up going to DC, and we're seeing him cooking over here, you know, doing like really great strategies that MCU should have been doing, and it makes you wonder, wait a minute, was James Gunn one of those people who was like having all these good ideas for the MCU, and Kevin Feige was just listening at the time, like, because he's cooking over here with the DCU, and the MCU is kind of trying to find its footing. So it's fair to wonder, does Kevin Feige need to step down?
You lose me at don't read the source. I hate people that like take a franchise that already exists and try to make it their own.
Yeah,
like
Zack Snyder.
You can have a little bit of leeway, okay? Not everything has to be a shot-for-shot remake.
Exactly.
But at its core, these characters have to be a certain thing. You know what I mean? Like, these are who the characters are. And these are the stories that put you in a position to be able to make movies about them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Fucking exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, you have to honor that. And taking weird versions of the characters and stuff like that is just, it's stupid. Like, I will never understand that. Like, now we're getting into the Professor X and Magneto discussions about who should be cast as the people. and it's like, listen, it's not that complicated, okay? Like, you just need a bald white guy in a wheel and make him sit in a wheelchair, and you need a guy that can be Jewish.
Yeah.
So obviously another white guy. Sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're right.
let's not overthink this, okay? And I guess Bryan Cranston is being talked about as Professor X, so I can get behind that.
Yeah. There was one. There was the woman from Wicked, the black lady from Wicked, was being talked about for Storm.
Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah. I definitely don't endorse that one.
Like, if I'm being honest, like, don't get me wrong, this is a fan casting, but I'll be damned if I say if she doesn't fit the part, both like looks in the face walls and body wise, I feel like still giving her Storm early might be too big of a role, but Jay Cargill from
I knew it.
WWE.
I
Jay
worded it.
Cargill. At the very least, I feel like that's who you should kind of look at in terms of just appearance as a whole.
And she's been I feel like she very much like she models herself after that, you know. A storm is coming. Do you know what we're talking about, Sadot?
I have I may or may not have photos of Jade on my phone. So yes.
Okay. Well, she was a cosplayer before wrestling.
Especially if like they're kind of going not the young, because I think we don't know how old they're going to make the core X-Men, because like for example, you look at what James Gunn did with Lanterns, and Hal is already like in his 50s, like he's old, like didn't think that was gonna happen. I would say
relitigate that.
Someone around her, because I think she's 30. Someone around her age, I feel like is the good benchmark, because like we don't want somebody too young, because then if the ages don't match up, she won't look right with the rest of the group. And then if they're too old, we're gonna have another Harrison Ford Red Hulk situation.
Sure. Oh my God! Don't remind me. No, I don't know if she can act or not. I don't know if she's has she been in any movies?
I don't think so. But that's what I was saying, just like a pin, like, because again, giving her Storm, like something like Storm for her first role, if that is her first acting role, that would be insane. I don't know if she would be able to handle that, but just like in terms of like looks and appearance and how she carries herself, Jade.
She looks the part.
Jade fits
she
the
played
bill.
college basketball.
She has my vote. As long as she, I mean, even if she can't act, I mean, Gal Gadot got Wonder Woman, and Lord knows she can't act.
Because here, for example, look up her what was it? Look up her WrestleMania outfit with the lightning bolts. That right there was like short. That was short hair Storm, pretty much. I think Jay knows what I'm talking about. That was short hair Storm when she had the goat outfit.
I can do you one better. Okay. Remember, cosplayer.
Oh yeah. Okay. He's gonna show the Storm one. Yeah.
I mean, case closed.
Yep.
You know. So yeah.
Get whatever she wants, give it to her. That's my story.
And she very much wants that. Like literally,
she's been vocal about it.
Her intro music is "A Storm is Coming." You know,
something else is going to be coming.
Yeah, but I think she did have. She had an AEW. Is this WrestleMania? No, yeah, this is an AEW.
And she also is a wrestler, so she actually is used to acting, you know, because wrestling isn't real. So I think she's, if anything, overqualified for the role.
Yeah, this is like one of her entrance gears in AEW.
Yeah, just give it a role. Just give it a role. Don't complicate this MCU. Just give it a role.
Exactly.
Like
so
you gave Batista a role Guardian. Yes, just give it.
And to be fair, outside of Guardians, Batista, I don't know if anybody's seen Blade Runner like 2047, the new one, but it's like, and some stuff like Batista does have like a bit of like more serious or like dramatic acting in him as well. Only person that doesn't is The Rock, because he's The Rock and everything. But everyone else besides him actually shows like they can do more than just action or whatnot.
Yeah, I saw him in this. He actually did horror. He was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie about that cabin or whatever. I saw.
The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Seth Rollins, because he was supposed to be in Captain America: Brave New World, but his part got cut.
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff got cut.
Yeah,
they were doing a lot of reshoots. They were trying to.
I just got the Steelbook. I should see if there's any like deleted scenes on there with them.
It just came to digital recently. Finally, Brave New World. I did not watch it. I watched The Wild Robot instead. Great movie, highly recommended.
Nice.
Instead of Brave New World. I have no desire to watch that again. I was like, I saw it once. I was like, "Yep, I'm good. don't need this one again." But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Sinners when it hits digital.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think they just think too hard, and like they're trying to be like provocative and like, oh, look at us, we gender bended this character. Haha, look at me, I did it.
Yeah. I think it goes even back to not looking at source material. I think they just have a lot of narcissists in these positions who think that they're above it. They think they're above the fans. They think they're above the material, and they resent the idea that they have to cater to this, slop to to get a check. So they think they can make the stuff in their own image, and it's like no, like you should only have people involved in these projects that genuinely care. Like Aman Vellani is exactly the type of person who should be working on these Marvel projects. Someone who genuinely loves the material. Like James Gunn, say what you will about him, you can love him or hate him. He's a talented writer, he's a talented director, and he loves comics. Like you can see his love for comics in every frame of his movies, in the Superman material, everything we've seen so far. Clearly, this is a guy who loves the comics a lot, and that's
I guarantee you, Feige's not putting Weasel in a movie. Feige's not not putting Weasel front and center in a movie.
Or fucking Crypto, like it's the super talk, like what are we like? No, all these deep cuts, and it just comes from comic, and that's one of the reasons why X-Men '97 resonated with so many people. Like it was very clearly made by someone who loves the X-Men and wanted it to be cool again.
And I seen a post about that because when somebody's saying that show almost undid 2 decades worth of what Fox and Wolverine did to the X-Men brand as a whole, and I couldn't help but agree because for the longest time, Wolverine has been the face of the X-Men, and he's not even, like I said earlier, an original member, which is what's funny about the whole thing. That's like Spider-Man being the face of the Avengers, and he's canonically known for not being a team-oriented person.
Exactly, and I'm glad, and unfortunately, they let him go, but it just shows the potential. Like if you trust people who care about the material and they're talented, you kind of get the fuck out of the way. You can get some good stuff going. So I'm hoping that if not, like DC is going to kick their ass. Like DC had. I hope James Gunn is like in everyone's ear over the executives. Are like, hey, this is our perfect chance to just kick Marvel's ass right now. Like the MCU is having a hard time, trying to get back on track. We have the chance to like destroy the Fantastic Four and just kind of take over 2025. There's kind of a lull in the game market. Obviously, there's an opportunity to get back in with gaming. Like if I was him, I'd be like, okay, who can we get the license? Who can we get to develop some games? All right, let's get into Fortnite. Let's do whatever we got to do to get the DC brand out there, because now is our time. I would be calling every major game studio and even mid-size or smaller ones, but like, look, we just want you to make DC games. We're not like Marvel. We're not going to charge you an arm and a leg. We'll work with you. We just want you to make a DC game if you're interested. Don't let the licensing price fool you. And if you could convince them to get in there, if you could convince Zaslav to get behind it and like get this will all help, like DC could legitimately take over.
I can't say anything about who I want Adam Cole to be. I will say that I regret not. I had a chance to meet. Well, we already got an Adam Warlock, I don't know. I had an opportunity to meet Adam Cole and Kenny Omega at PAX East, but I just didn't want to drive out there, and I regret it badly.
Shame.
Because there was a big moment where Xavier Woods and Kenny Omega, they had a little moment, played a little don't know what it was, like the Street Fighter collection or something.
I didn't see it. I didn't see Ubisoft at Summer Game Fest on the partner list. I know they usually have their own showcase, but I did hear Tom Henderson say that he saw the Splinter Cell remake and he said it looks good. Looks really good. So take that what you will. But officially, at least on round one, Ubisoft not on that partner list, and they usually have their own Ubisoft showcase. So I don't know, after everything that happened with them and the Tencent deal, I don't know if they're still going to have a Ubisoft for it this year, but yeah, I would usually expect it to be there. But
Wouldn't they have announced it by now? Like it was going to be this week.
I don't know, maybe they do it. Yeah, maybe they'll do it. Maybe they're just going to do it at the Xbox showcase. That would make sense.
That's true. Hold on, I'm looking up the Ubisoft Twitter right now. Oh yeah, May 30th, Splinter Cell. I mean, it's not a very. Hold on, I got it. I'll put it up. It's not. There's not really very much information, but I can understand why people are speculating. You know, it's just this from May 30th.
They sent this on. Oh, that's when they told you May 30th.
Close up of Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, showing a stern expression with focused eyes, short dark hair, and a rugged beard.
So there's teasing. Yeah, so it's probably going to be. So it's probably, if I had to guess, they'll probably drop it at the Xbox showcase.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be that. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Xbox
but,
showcase.
You know, it is very possible that they just didn't put some partners on the list because they want that surprise factor.
I mean, they definitely didn't. Like, they said, because I counted myself, Jay. I counted all of them on round one, and because he said over 60, and there are less than 60 names on that image.
So there you go. There it is. We will see.
We will. This Friday, Summer Game Fest, I will be live co-streaming like I do, like I've been doing every year. And
I have not been doing it every year because I've been there the last 2 years.
Show off. Well, I've been streaming
this year.
I was streaming from home, and I'll continue to do so. Well, obviously, I'll go live early for the pre-show. We'll go over all the latest news, rumors, leaks, and we'll get our predictions out to see what's going on. This is probably going to be a longer show than normal. I mean, record-breaking 60+ partners means a lot of video game commercials. So there's gonna be a big show. Hopefully, people will get at least some of what they're hoping for. I know. I think it's going to be bigger. I think it's going to be legitimately some cool stuff. I know Kingdom Hearts 4 fans have been burned before, but they did recently show new screenshots for Kingdom Hearts 4, and Square Enix is a confirmed partner, round one partner. So could be some Kingdom Hearts 4. You never know. Usually, I would say it's a meme. Like Kingdom Hearts 4 is not going to be there. This is the 1 year I'd say it's not cope. If you think there's going to be Kingdom Hearts 4 Summer Game Fest, I'd say this is the 1 year where there's like a legitimate possibility they'll show something for Kingdom Hearts 4. I will say, but don't get too hyped. But still, I would expect it. All right, I think we can wrap it up for this week. Appreciate everyone as usual for hanging out and having us break down all the craziness. Next week will be the post Summer Game Fest show, so we'll see what happened. You know, did we get Wolverine? Did we get Tomb Raider and all this other stuff? Was it a great show? You know, we'll do your full recap, everything that went down, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I always enjoy Summer Game Fest.
I do want to leave everybody with this. I just want to leave everybody.
Shout out to New York Knicks. They of course lost to the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, setting up a matchup between the Thunder and the Pacers, which of course will end in a 4-game sweep. that nobody's going to watch. So.
I can't even imagine going 13 years between. They have 2 teams in every league. Like, how has it been 13 years since your city won a championship?
Give up to New York.
Like,
that's
I
tough.
mean, I thought waiting 5 years between the last Red Sox World Series and last year's Celtics championship was rough. Jesus.
Yeah, and well, we definitely know the Knicks aren't going to be breaking that cycle.
I'm not like a shit talker usually, okay? Like, but those Knicks fans after the end of round 2 celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl, fuck them.
Actually, I endorse that because fuck Boston. But otherwise, yeah. Knicks fans are down absolutely tremendous, and they will continue to be that way because as they learned, this is what happens when you have Karl Anthony Towns on your team as your second best player.
Did you see Halliburton just ether Ben Stiller?
I did not. I turned the game off when it was like, I think when they went up by like 20 with like a minute 15 left. I was like, all right, that's this.
Ben Stiller had a tweet where he was showing a picture of Halliburton walking in with like a bag, Ben Stiller tweets, "Good thing he brought his duffel for the flight to New York." And then Tyrese Halliburton quote tweeted him and he said, "Nah, I was packing y'all up."
He has been on because he posted a video too. But remember that, what was it? The video that went viral of that Pacers fan that was walking around New York that got hit with a trash and stuff. He had somebody edit that video of like that in the New York Knicks, and he's just been posting that everywhere. He has been on a generational trash talk run, like the past 24 hours. For basketball fans, you guys will probably know, over the past couple of years, there was nobody that New York Knicks fans hated more than Trae Young.
Yep.
They now have a new person. That man will legitimately be the Thanos for the next decade or decades of actually 3 decades, because after Jay showed that picture, it's probably going to be that long before they win a championship again. It's incredibly funny, and if he wins the finals, it's going to be even worse because not only did he knock the Knicks out of the finals, he went and won. Either way, win or lose, he's forever an arch enemy of New York. He can't go back there alone.
He hit him with the Reggie Miller.
The Reggie Miller
on a shot where his foot was on the line. By the way.
Yeah, because Halliburton he's great. He's a great player. He is a cornball though.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't. I mean the Thunder. I think the Thunder are definitely taking.
They're winning. They're winning in 4. Maybe they're gonna every game they win. They're gonna win by like 30 or 40. Like I don't think this is gonna be a close series.
Yeah. So
at all, they took advantage of the fact that the Knicks are a dog shit team. They just are. All right, so I'll get out of here. Appreciate you. Make sure you go follow King Greek. He is on his grind to become the best Marvel Rivals content creator, and we wish him the best of luck. Obviously, PlayStation Cup champion. Maybe next time he'll win an even bigger tournament. You never know. But you got to stay tuned.
That's on pause right now while I work on hosting this tournament.
That's right. Which I might have some involvement in. So we'll make sure you're subscribed. He's King Greek on Twitch, on YouTube. Go check him out. You already know where J Shock Class is. No one cares. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I am not Casual Avenger.
And that's King Greek. Zip it up and zip it out.
Enemies call me no more.
Mustard.
My name's